ಸರಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. So conclusion, last chapter. I have discussed sufficiently as far as my anubhava or reading of nature allowed me. I may now add a few lines for the seekers to reveal to them the secret of success. Meditation is the foundation of spirituality. If you meditate having your real goal before you, you are sure to arrive at the destination. There are ways and ways converging towards the real goal, and they are discussed in various scriptures sufficiently. There are external forces to helping us to the destination if properly guided. The Eastern thinkers have taken special regard to the question of food. It should be cooked neatly and cleanly in a proper manner. This is the hygienic point. But if it is sattvic and it's cooked in constant remembrance of God, its effect will be surprising. And if it's taken meditating all the while on God, it will cure all kinds of spiritual diseases and remove things which hinder our spiritual progress. I have not to say much about it as it has been already dealt with sufficiently in our books. But neglecting altogether the really essential hygienic and spiritual basis of food, we must not be whimsical thinking that it is defiled if merely touched by one other person of a particular sect, even though he may be more innocent, pious, and spiritually elevated. Hindus have experienced sufficiently and ought to now realize that the present day policy of food is neither social nor spiritual. In support of my views, I quote below the words of Swami Vivekananda, who is an authority on spiritual subjects. The extravagant, meaningless fanaticism which has driven religion entirely to kitchen, as may be noted in many of our sects, without any hope of any noble truth of the religion ever coming out to the sunlight of spirituality, is a peculiar sore of pure and simple materialism. It is neither jnana, nor karma, nor bhakti. It is a special kind of lunacy, and those who pin their souls to it are more likely to go to a lunatic asylum than to Brahmaloka. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರು ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಮಡಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಇವರು ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಮಡಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ, ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡವರು ಮಡಿ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಡಿ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಮಡಿಯೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈ ಆಗೋದು. ಯಾರು ಮುಟ್ಟಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ದೇ ಡೈ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಅದು ಗೋಪಾಲಕೃಷ್ಣನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಎರಡು ಅರ್ಥ ಇದೆ ಮಡಿಗೆ. ಮಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅನ್ಟಚಬಲ್ ಅಂತ, ಡಿಫೈಲ್ ಆದ್ರು ಅಂತ. ಮಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈ ಅಂತ, ಮಡಿದರು ಅಂತ ಬರಿತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. ಮಡಿದರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಡೈಡ್ ಅಂತ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಹೂ has this notion literally dies. Although they might be alive, but they metaphorically they die because they are holding on to something most unnecessary for their spiritual journey. Sarina. Another external thing necessary for the beginner is that he should practice restraint in thought, word, and deed, so as not to injure the feelings and prick the hearts of others. If he does not restrain himself, he spoils his own heart. The reaction affects him unnoticed. The next thing for him to cultivate is that he should always look at the bright side of the picture and should not, at any time, submit himself to the feeling that he cannot attain the goal. Iron will is essential for the purpose. It should not be led to the feeling of despondency, which is a great obstacle on the path. The cause of despondency in the spiritual field seems to be that people generally think it's the most difficult and intricate thing. What we have to gain is really a very simple thing within our easy reach. The difficult methods so far applied for attaining this simple thing have really made it complicated and intricate. An example will make the proposition clear. Suppose a needle falls on the ground and you want to pick it up. It will be very easy to do so with the help of your fingers. If, however, a crane or a machine used for lifting heavy weights or some other complicated machinery is used for picking up the needle, it will be difficult to do so, and it is quite possible that you may fail in your attempt. Exactly the same thing happens when you think of difficult and complicated methods for attaining reality, which is very simple. People are really trying to pick up a needle with the help of a crane in the spiritual field. It is merely a misconception which, if wiped off, will remove despondency altogether. It's the most easy thing to gain. ಯಾವ ಎಫರ್ಟು ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರಬೇಕಷ್ಟೆ. Just be in awareness. That's it. Things will happen by itself. But it's just that we cannot sit quietly in awareness. That is the trouble. See, our previous history is moving the camera, right? Just now I just spoke about we just sit quietly, and now we are moving the camera. I need to look nice, better in the picture. This is exactly what we do in real life also. We can't sit quiet because we have trained the mind not to sit quiet. And now to get the mind to sit quiet is the most difficult thing to do. And the senses do their own provocation. See, that is nice. That is beautiful. And this is smelling nice. You know that you remember the taste of what you're seeing. So the five senses do not keep quiet. Some nice music coming. Oh, say there's a cinema going on. Nice breeze. I told Gopal Krishna, I'll go upstairs because very nice moonlight is there today. Blue sky with full bright moonlight. So nice. So we all want that kind of a good feeling at different senses level, and that's what we are after. So if the senses keep quiet, the mind will not keep quiet. So they both are like markata, monkey. If one scratches the other also scratches this. The senses scratch the mind scratches the senses. Both of them will not keep quiet. This is what happens. Okay. So the process we start with and which we lay stress upon is meditation upon the heart under the guidance of the force of one's master who has attained perfection and has within him the capacity for transmission. Such a master keep things away that bar our spiritual progress. Spiritual waves from the master continue to flow into the hearts of the Abhyasi as making him calmer and calmer day by day. If we are deep rooted in meditation, we connect our link with the innermost thing desired. Devotion, of course, increases the capacity and smoothens the way. If we make our heart the target of masterly force, we begin to expand inside, with the result that in the long run we find ourselves stretching throughout the godly empire. So essentially, he's talking about the role of the master. So transmission ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, expansion ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, devotion ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Master in the spiritual waves come from the master, helping us becoming calmer by the day. Link with the innermost thing desired, that is established. All these things happen because of the presence of the living master. I am speaking this about those who have so fixed themselves in the heart of the central region. What such a man can do by his will force, others cannot do by the force of arms. The materialistic view may not accept it, but the world is shorter before its advocates. People may think it's a dog barking subject as they have not developed this sort of vision. Such a personality, as described previously, is neither friend nor foe to anybody. He is all along balanced in his ways and moves, never loses equilibrium. If penchants, he does not even, he does even, he does so even for a moment. In other words, he loses the balance even for a moment. Atmospheric disorder and gloominess will be the result. If it continues for some time, the shadowy hearts of the people will collapse. Activities at this stage are all gone and action becomes automatic. But if activities remain as they are, the solution of the life is not yet arrived at. So everything should become automatic. Before we establish in the center, the four stages of the ego, you remember? Four stages of the ego. Body as the doer, mind as the doer, everything happen automatically. Awareness about the automatic thing also goes away. So four stages. So when somebody is established at the fourth stage, everything is automatic. And they don't even have awareness that work is happening. Okay. During our march to freedom, we come across various chakras having different colors and forms. They are all in the region of the heart. Above it is the condition different, is different from what you have already experienced. Chakras are all gone, the structure falls off as soon as you proceed onwards. By meditation under the guidance of the capable master, the thing becomes easily accessible. Iron will and constant impatience and restlessness for the gaining the object bring about easy success. Lord Krishna had originally introduced bhakti in the Raja Yoga in a way yogis know because he knew the time was at hand when life will be uncertain. There is a vast difference between theory and practice. If I tell you the same subject all the day and night, it will not be benefited at all. You will not be benefited at all, except that your mental taste will may develop, and that too momentarily. Come with faith and confidence in the spiritual field and be prepared for the practice, throwing off the self conceited ideas. I do not want you to dwell in an imagination that if you repeatedly read the scriptures, you will become the master of spirituality. By so doing, you may become a philosopher or a learned man. But you cannot be a yogi without actual practice with love and devotion. It is very difficult to put a practical thing in words, just as you cannot describe the taste of the wheat or mango, although you have eaten it many a time. Wheat ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಚೇಂಜ್ ವೀಟ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ, ದೆನ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ. ಸರಿ. May the day dawn when people will stand to realize the accuracy of what has been said above. How to realize the accuracy of what has been said above? By practice, by experience. ಸರಿನಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗೀತು. ಪ್ರವೀಣ್ ಬರಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್, ಅವ್ನು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್, ಅವ್ನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್.
ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಬ್ರದರ್, ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ.